Amma, Tell Me About Krishna by Bhakti Mathur. One by one the boys climbed on each other till the pyramid they formed reached the top, all the way up to the temple ceiling, where there hung a small earthen butter pot. And then it was Kalaka's turn. Up, up and up he clambered, a mighty swing with a stick in his hand. And there the butter pot was shattered. The temple erupted with shouts of joy, for this was the climax of the day. They had all gathered to celebrate Janmashtami, the festival that marks Krishna's birthday. Kalaka had arrived at the temple quite early with his brother Kiki that day. There was so much they had to do. A bit of work, but mostly play. They had helped paint the marks of tiny feet on the floor, as though baby Krishna himself had walked into this very temple not long ago. Then they helped bathe an idol of baby Krishna in milk, placed it in a golden cradle, dressed in beautiful yellow silk. One by one, Kalaka and his friends took turns to rock the cradle gently by pulling the string attached to it ever so carefully. Finally, the time arrived and the clock's hands moved to strike midnight. This was the moment of Krishna's birth. All rejoiced and danced in delight. After the festivities were over, as Amma tucked Kalaka into bed, "I'm not sleepy at all, Amma. Tell me about Krishna," he said. "All right then, listen carefully," said Amma. "My grandmother used to tell me this story about how Krishna was born and of his great deeds and rise to glory. Janam means birth and Ashtami means 8. As Krishna was born on the monsoon's 8th day, it's Janmashtami which we celebrate. A long, long time ago, terror had come to the once great kingdom of Mathura, ever since evil Kansa usurped the crown from his father, the noble king Ugrasen. There was fear everywhere, destruction, death and pain. No good citizen was safe under wicked Kansa's evil reign. Desperate, the people turned to Lord Vishnu and prayed for Kansa's rule to end. Vishnu granted their prayer and said, "To end his rule, to earth I will descend." Soon after, when Kansa's sister, the beautiful and good Devaki, wedded the noble king Vasudeva, a voice from the sky pronounced this prophecy: "Listen, O wicked Kansa, know now that your end is near. The 8th child of Devaki will cause your demise and rid Mathura's people of their fear." On hearing this, Kansa seized Devaki and drew his sword to kill her. "My end will never come," he said, "if I kill you now, my little sister." Vasudeva pleaded with him. "Kansa, spare your sister's life," he said. "I promise we will hand you our children. Do with them what you please instead." Kansa agreed, but had Devaki and Vasudeva chained and locked in a deep dark cell. One by one he killed their sons. It was a time of horror and hell. Finally, Devaki's 8th child arrived on a strange and magical night. Dark and stormy, yet the wind sang sweetly and softly as though to welcome a ray of light. A beautiful baby boy arrived at the very stroke of midnight. With dark blue skin and lovely big eyes, He lit the dark prison with his godly light. Then a heavenly voice announced, Vasudev, your sorrows are at an end. Take this child across the Yamuna river to Gokul, where lives Nand, your friend. Lo and behold, Vasudev's chains came undone, and the prison door opened on its own stead. The guards fell into a deep sleep. A magical light marked the path ahead. In wonder, Vasudev picked up the baby and walked out into the stormy night. He reached the Yamuna, but how could he cross? How could he follow the magical light? He held the baby up over his head, bravely stepped in the water, then had a shock, for suddenly the Yamuna parted, revealing a path on which he could walk. Then from the river emerged a huge serpent, the heavenly Sheshnag, whose giant head formed an umbrella over father and son, as through the parted Yamuna did they tread. Vasudev reached Gokul and found a baby girl born to Yashoda, Nand's wife. He quietly took the girl and left his son there, wishing his boy a safe and happy life. Vasudev took the baby girl back to Devki. The guards awoke with the baby's cries. They ran to Kansa with the news of the birth, and he rushed to see it with his own eyes. He snatched the baby from Devki and flung her against the wall with a screech. But the baby instead flew out of his grip, floating up in the air and out of his reach. The baby was really goddess Yogamaya. And as she flew away, she laughed and said, "Oh Kansa, your nemesis is alive and well. Nothing can save you. You will soon be dead." Filled with dread, Kansa ordered his soldiers to seek out all newborns in Mathura. Even though they searched far and wide, the soldiers could never harm Krishna. When Yashoda awoke the next morning, she thought that the sleeping baby was her son. Seeing his blue skin, she named him Krishna, which means blue like a cloud, attracting everyone. The villagers in Gokul were delighted that a son was born to Nand and Yashoda. They danced and celebrated with joy the arrival of baby Krishna. So that, my dear Kilaka, is how Krishna came to be. Another night I'll tell you the story of how he brought Kansa to his knees. Happy Janmashtami, everyone.